How are y'all today? So, today is the 7th. So, happy 2018. Yeah. For most of y'all, the year has already started for a week. Back to school, back to work, back to the market. Oh no, mothers are, for those who have to cook at home, whether it's New Year or Old Year or middle of the year, start of the year, it's the same. Is there a difference? Mostly no difference. But when the children go to school, then there's a slight change in the schedule. Yeah, there's a slight change. Now in the daytime, you have a bit more time to do your own meditation, maybe do your own housework and things like that. Well, we'll go through the Yogācārabhūmi text, the Bodhisattva Precepts. Today we need you all to display the Yogācārabhūmi text later, and then we'll do a bit of New Year reflection. And there were some students who posted on SGC chat some questions, and I told them to come in person to ask. I don't know whether they are here or they'll be shy to ask again. Yeah. But before all that, let's look at my left side and see who is new here today. Let me see. First row, okay, no. Second row, no. Season parking holders. Let me see. Fourth row. Some of you escaped previously because you all came for my classes, so I can't tell whether you are new or not. Yeah, so in front of the Buddha, in front of Sifu, you all know yourself. If you have not introduced yourself before, raise your hand. Come. Let me see. I think 5th row, 6th row, 7th row. I think the two of you have not introduced yourself before, right? Yes. Tell us your name and how you got to know this group.
Yeah, I'm Tan. I came here because my son Wesley brought us here.
I see.
And
I am Irene. That's this mom.
I see. Welcome. So finally I meet your parents. Let me see, who else on my left is new here today? I think besides them, anybody else? Krishna, you were pointing to somebody who? Oh, hiding behind the gentleman.
My name is Julian. I just passed by here and I came in.
Oh. No, I think you've been here before. Yeah, she has been here before. Yeah. Okay, on my right, let me see. You have introduced already. Let me see, who else? Okay, come. Yes, cannot escape.
I didn't escape. I was swimming freely but not caught. My name is Wei Ling. Nice to see you here today.
And how did you get to know about the group?
I chanced upon the website, Facebook post, and then start following YouTube. Then there was Heart Sutra class that I moved on.
Okay, good. Welcome. And the two of them, Desley and Imelda, come.
good to see you again, Shifu.
Yes, very good to see you.
Wesley, son of Tan.
My name is Imelda.
Yeah, so tell them, how did you get to know about this group?
Through Shifu's Facebook group. And so we used to have this spiritual cultivation like 10 years ago in Pumingse, which is following a similar concept.
Yeah.
So we kind of missed the spiritual cultivation in Shifu as well. So managed to find time to, in the new year as well, make a new year resolution to restart the affinity with Shifu.
Sadhu. Yeah, it's been so many years. Previously, we had at some point, I think the first time I gave classes with SIM was when you invited me for the meditation class. That was 10 or 11 years ago. Then later on, when a couple of y'all graduated, then what's her name? Oh, Chala, I can't remember her name. Mei Xuan together with Yanni, and who else? There's two sisters, or a couple of them. Yeah, they visited me in the Buddhist library. Then we started the Dhamma something, I can't remember the name. And then we shifted the dates. Yeah, it was at Puningsi. Yeah, that was some donkey years back, huh? Yeah. Very good to see you all here again. Sadhu, sadhu. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Yeah, some 10 years back. Yeah, way back. Yeah. So I've been, I've seen you all on Facebook here and there. Yeah. So I think, let me see. I saw somebody else, I think from around your time also. Who? Never mind. Let's see who else is here for the first time. Okay, all the way at the back.
Hi, my name is Ian. I come here with my NTU friends.
Okay. So where is your NTU friend? So we have SIM, we have NTU. How about NUS? Where's the NUS? Oh, in front here. Who else? Yes. Sally. Sally, you're Sally's sister. Are you Sally? Yes, you. Yeah. Sylvia.
Hello, Sir. It's been a while. I think about 3 months ago that we came here. So this is the new year and we come back again.
Okay. So
I'm Sylvia. I'm not
Sylvia.
Sally's sister.
Oh, you're not Sally's sister. So to wait until next New Year. Okay, so everybody accounted for? Good. So some of... lie. Okay, so to start off the new year, some of you came last week, some of you didn't. How many of you were not here last week? Okay, so you all can get one of this reflection card, the aspiration card, and then we have the events card for the new year, and then we have the first quarter events brochure, all very professionally designed and So for the Lao Lang, for those who are wearing progressive lens, don't worry, we have you covered. So we have bigger pamphlets here if you need. Okay. Yeah. So what to do with the aspiration card? You can use it to write down your New Year aspirations. So for the past maybe one week or so, I've been sharing with some students this idea. Sometimes when we write down aspirations or New Year resolution, you know the joke about New Year resolution, yeah, they are meant to be broken. Yeah, because sometimes when we write it down, it tends to be a bit too high, too far. Yeah. So still it's good to write down some long-term plan. But instead of just staying as a long-term plan, where it's in the long term, is something to be accomplished over 1 year. If you think about it, there are 52 weeks in a year. Yeah? So instead of thinking of a year's aspiration, a year's plan, ask yourself, what are the 52 things you want to do this year? If each week you give yourself one thing to do, and that is above and beyond your daily duties, like you go to work, you wake up, you must say hello, darling, to your wife or your husband. Besides all this, okay? Besides your day-to-day things, you have to go to the market, you must do this, you must do that. Ask yourself, every week, give yourself a task. What do you want to do for this week? Already the first week is gone, no? So you are left with 51 weeks left. So for some of you, the first task you have done is attend SGC. But you shouldn't write down, okay, the 52 things to do, attend SGC 52 times. I mean, you can do that. But you can also ask yourself, every week of our 2018 is another week of our precious human life. Our precious human life. What do we want to do with every single week? Now 52 is quite a lot, okay? So you may want to just put that down, 52 weeks. And then go back and ask yourself, every week, what do you want to do? So why 52 weeks? Well, because there are 52 weeks. But also because if plans are too far away, then sometimes we either get burnt out, we get overwhelmed, or we forget about them. So 1 week, 1 week task is quite manageable. And usually it means it's quite doable. So you may have some bigger plans, okay? But break them down into multiple weeks and try to achieve each week at a time. Then it's very doable. Then it becomes quite exciting, you know. Your 52 weeks, you know in advance, yes, you're going to do 52 things this year. So that by the time it's December 2018, when you look back, maybe you will not accomplish all 52. Maybe you only accomplish half of them or 3/4 of them. Then you would still have accomplished 26 tasks in this year. Then you can look back in 2008, at the end of the year and say, good job. You have not spent your 2018 in vain. Our precious human life wasn't spent just like that. So when you write down your reflection card, you can just put down 52 weeks. Then when you go back, plan your 2018. But as we start the year, also good to look back in the previous year and ask yourself, what are the things that went right? What are the things that you can look back and say, good job. Good job. What are the hits and misses? Maybe there are some things that we wanted to do but didn't do. Maybe there are some things that we shouldn't have done but we did. So on the 1st of January when we were at the Buddhist library, Bhante Dhammaratana shared about how being unenlightened, we may have done things that we shouldn't do. But don't regret over it. Don't spend your time regretting over 2017. But don't forget about it also. Don't say, it's a new year, forget about the past. Yeah, sometimes we learn the Buddha's teaching and interpret it wrongly. Do not hold on to the past. Do not yearn for the future. Live now. So then the mother maybe asks the son or the daughter, "Hey, what are your plans?" No plans. How can you have no plans? But Buddha said, don't long for the future. Yeah. Then someone asks you, why do you keep on making the same mistake? How many times do you want to make the same mistake? Oh, no. The Buddha said, don't hold on to the past. Live now. So each time I make the same mistake, I'm just making it now. This is a wrong understanding and interpretation of the Buddha's teaching. Yeah. We should not forget about the past, but don't dwell on it and immobilize yourself. Instead, we should know clearly about the past, what we have done right and what we have done wrong. And then ask yourself, if you encounter the same situation again, how better can you deal with it? In what new way can you face these circumstances? Each time this person says this, I get upset. For the past year, we did this. 2016, we also did this. 2015, we also did this. 1999, we also did this. Until this year, do you still want to keep doing this? We should give ourselves a break, isn't it? Yeah. So you ask yourself, in the past, maybe when someone say this or do that, I get very upset. This year, I shall train myself not to be upset in this way. Try. Let me start the ball rolling. You don't have to declare to everybody, but I be the example. Okay, I give you the negative example. In the past, when people are late, I get really quite upset. And I used to think, I have good reasons to be upset. Do you know why I'm so upset? Because when you are late, then my next appointment gets shifted and the whole day's appointment gets shifted. Yeah, then everybody get affected. Yeah, that's why I have the reason to be upset with you. Then one day I asked myself, I teach people not to be upset. Then I myself get upset. So that's quite ridiculous. Yeah. So, but I still get upset. Then after a long time, then I decided, okay, so if they are late, they are already late. If I get upset, does it make them early? It doesn't get them earlier. So what can I do? If a person is late, a person is late. You can't change that. Yeah. But I will still say something. The key thing is, it doesn't mean that you cannot say anything wrong. If you are late, then you can expect to get a not mouthful, earful from me. Yeah, mouth and earful from me. Yeah. Now, so my challenge was, how can I give them a earful and mouthful without being upset? We tend to go from one extreme to the next extreme. Yeah, get upset and give people a mouthful. Then we think, it's not good to be upset. Then we also don't give a mouthful. Yeah. So as parents, that's the challenge, isn't it? How do we discipline our child without getting upset? So I sometimes share with parents, being a good parent, in disciplining our children, is like being a good policeman, or woman for that matter. Yeah, being a good police officer. A good police officer upholds the law above and beyond their own emotions. The good policeman gives you a warning instead of giving you a summon, not because he should not be doing that because he's in a good mood, not because he likes you, not because you are pretty or handsome or you are whatever. Yeah, but according to the severity of the offense. A good police officer would met out the offense, the charges, not because he's in a good mood. Today quarrel with the girlfriend or boyfriend, so drive around looking for people to give summon. Yeah? Just as in the same way, being parents, we should not be punishing or disciplining our children based on our mood. Yeah? Today at work had a frustrating day. So when we come back and then our children, Daddy, I show you something. Very busy. Oh. Then, still, why are you not doing homework? I finished already. Do more assessment. Then if you are in a good mood, come back. Why are we busy with? Do homework. No need to do lah. Come play with me. Yeah. And then if you are in a good mood, 11 o'clock, still early. Bad mood, 8 o'clock, why are you not sleeping? That would be very confusing actually. Yeah. Besides being not so right, it's also very confusing for the children. So 2018, how do we want to live our 2018? Yeah, so you can write down. Yeah. Ask yourself, what are the things you want to do differently this year? Earlier on in the morning, we had the ITB session for the youth, and then there was this sharing I thought is quite meaningful. I just give you all the gist of it. In the Samyutta Nikaya, in one of the section on the undiscoverable beginning, indiscernible beginning. So the Buddha gave the discourse saying that if you were to, if you were to collect all the grass, the twigs, the branches in this Jambudvipa, the continent of Indian continent, if you collect all of this, and then you place one and say, this is my father, and that is my father's father, and so on. The Buddha said, you cannot find a beginning. Yeah, we have been going around in samsara, life after life. We have experienced so much suffering, so much grief and pain. Yeah, enough for us to be repulsed by it, to be dispassionate about it. So then later on I shared with them about how when I was attending the novice retreat a long time ago, many years ago, so one of the fellow participants gave during one of the break, he shared something similar. Yeah. So he said, we have been going around in samsara for so long. Whatever we are pursuing, we have done it before. We have been reborn as heavenly beings in the various heavenly realms. We have been born in the lowest, the deepest of the hell. We have been reborn in all kinds of animals and all forms and shapes of ghosts. As human beings, we have been born so many times. We have been through different gender. We have been through different roles. Why do we hunger for one more time? So at that point in time during the retreat, sometimes the same teaching, you can hear the same teaching 1,000 times, but different people hear it and get different things. And the same person hearing it 1,000 times may feel differently towards it as well. For me, at that point in time when I heard that, it dawned on me, it struck me so deeply. I was like, because at that point in time I was still a lay person and I was working, and it was during the retreat that this was shared. So I thought to myself, in the same way, my back then current job as a consultant, surely in the past, long distance past through samsara, I must have done something similar, if not better than this. So what's the big deal? Yeah. So then I knew, this career of mine has no hold on me. So then I was sharing with the youth this morning. So think about it. All the things we've been pursuing, all the worldly pursuits we have. We want to go for this promotion, we want to get this performance review rating, we want to go to this country, we want to eat this food, we want to do this, do that. All this, we would have experienced and gone through that before. All the worldly pursuits, we have tried, we have failed many times and we have succeeded many times as well. As long as there are conditions, we will succeed. As long as there are no conditions, we will fail. And we have probably, in all likelihood, done it before. Yet we still want to try one more time. The one thing we have not tried hard enough and have not succeeded is the path towards enlightenment. That's the one thing we have not tried hard enough. The one thing we have not succeeded yet. Enlightenment. So, think about it. What other things do you want to pursue this year? Still we must pursue. Doesn't mean that after this SGC all of you don't pursue, right? You still must pursue. But then you ask yourself, out of the 52 things that you possibly can devote your 2018 to pursuing, which are the ones that should be on the higher priority for you to pursue? It doesn't mean that all of you should just put SGC, retreat, SGC. No. You still have to pursue your daily life. You still want to excel at your work. But it also means that when you pursue the goals that you have, then you will perhaps pursue it with a bit more equanimity. You will pursue it knowing that, well, as in the past, it is now, if there are conditions for it to happen, then it can succeed. What I need to do is put in my best, and if it still doesn't happen, then, well, so be it. It is not a form of resignation. It is understanding and accepting how things are with wisdom. Not simply jump straight to the conclusion, 随缘啊. No. That's as good as saying 青菜. No. But it means that we don't absolve ourselves of responsibility, but we don't beat ourselves over the results as well. And the same again goes to parenting. When our child is young, the outcome of our child weighs, in a way, mainly on us. But you must know that a part of it is from his past karma and his present karma as well. And as our child grows up, grows older, matures into an adult, then there are more and more input from others, including their own input. Up to the point where they get married, then as parents, you have done what you can. And you have done a great job. And now is your turn to put in input to the next generation. But again, in the same way, you can only do so much. But you must do. Don't think that, oh, Sư-Phụ say, you only remember the last part, 随缘. Just so be it. No. Then your child go and catch a cockroach and eat. So be it. Imelda, why is our son catching, our children catching a cockroach to eat? But I've already told him, so 随缘. No, cannot. When they are at a certain age, we must still be involved. But if your child, when they grow up to 23 years old, 24 years old, and your child still go and catch cockroach to eat, then you should just say 随缘. I mean, at that age, you shouldn't beat yourself over it. Actually, not so difficult to be happy. Not so difficult. But easy for me to say now. Last time when I was like you, was it easy? Actually, it was quite easy for me also. When I was not ordained yet, it was also quite easy. Yeah, quite easy. Every day quite happy. But then one time I got so upset. Yeah. So then I thought to myself, oh, I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied with the fact that I can still get upset. So I decided to go and do something about it. Then I become a monk. And that's the problem. 无事不登三宝殿. We tend to think that our day-to-day life is quite okay. That's why we don't have that eagerness to do something about it. Then we spend our time on a lot of other things. Yeah. But when we really start to see that, we have not gone beyond samsara yet, then there's urgency. Then we know that we still need to do something. So, I'll leave you all to go and fill up your aspiration card. We shall now look at the Bodhisattva Vows, the Bodhisattva Precepts. Some of you have been with us every month to look at the Bodhisattva Precepts. Some of you are here for the first time, and others have been here on and off, and some of you just joined us back after a long time. So we are at precept number 39, not rejoicing in others' merits. So this is part of the series of Bodhisattva practices. And as shared before, well, this is part of the Bodhisattva practices and teachings. I find that you will find that as well, that the precepts is not so much a matter of can do, cannot do. Yeah? Because when you examine into the principle behind, then you find that, whether or not you subscribe to the path, or in fact, whether or not you are a Buddhist, you'll find that beyond the vernacular, beyond the terms like Bodhisattva and so on, the principles behind does apply to our life. Yeah, so let's take a look. Precept number 39, not rejoicing in others' merits. If a Bodhisattva, knowing others' meritorious deeds out of detest, does not relate to others nor praise, or if one praises, does not sing praises openly, this is named a transgression. Multiple transgressions is a transgression of default nature. If acted out of laziness, slackness, or in an unrestrained manner, such transgression is of undefault nature. Yeah. So when we look at the main text itself, it's quite the standard format. Yeah. So it always starts with if a Bodhisattva. So setting the stage. Yeah. First of all, a Bodhisattva is someone who has taken upon themselves to devote their life to the well-being of others, to the betterment of others, in order to do that, they strive to put effort to improve themselves so that they can be of benefit to others. Yeah. So for such a person, here it says, if a Bodhisattva. So for such a person, if you know that others... So what does this mean? What is merit? Merit means benefit. When you have done something beneficial, in other words, something that is beneficial to yourself and others, that simply can be seen as something that is meritorious. Strictly speaking, then it means when you have done something wholesome. Yeah, but if we say, wholesome and so on, then sometimes it may be hard to understand. Yeah? When you do something wholesome, it must be of benefit to others. Yeah. So when we say something is meritorious, that means there's some value in it, some benefit. But this benefit is not worldly benefit. Yeah. It is not present life benefit alone. yeah, but it is something that is long-term, okay? Something wholesome that has long-term impact. So it is not simply not simply mundane worldly things, okay? So in this case, if a bodhisattva knows others' meritorious deeds, then what happened? Now, if you bring this down to, let's say, something close to heart, yeah, in your day-to-day life, at work, at home, yeah, and maybe in terms of meritorious deeds, let's just look at it as something that is good, yeah, that the person has succeeded in, yeah. Let's say you heard, for example, if your child did very well in exam, of course, doing well in exam is not really a meritorious deed, but let's start with worldly example first. If your child did well in exam, would you be happy? Say yes. Yes, of course. Don't have to think. Don't think further. Answer, there's only one answer, yes. If your answer is no or doubtful, see me after this, okay? You don't have to look at this precept. You need to see me after this for counseling. Usually, if our child has done well in school or at work, we'll be happy for them, isn't it? Yeah. So, will we keep our happiness to ourselves? Will we keep quiet? Yeah. What will you do? You will tell others, isn't it? We are very holy in one. Yeah. Would you tell others? We would tell others. Yeah. When you would tell others, yes, you would tell others. Maybe your daughter or your son, let's say maybe what kind of results would be worthwhile to tell others? What kind of results? Yeah, let's say your child managed to pass the exams. Would you go and tell the whole world, wow, my daughter, my son has passed his or her exams? Would you tell the whole world about it? You won't tell the whole world. Why not? It passed, ma. What? Show off. We may feel like if people ask, then we say. Then people don't ask, then we don't say. What if your child didn't just pass, but got a C? C, like 60 plus to 70. Or no, 50 plus to 60. So okay, besides you, how about the rest? How about if your child got B, 60 plus to 70? Would you tell the others? How about your child have an A? Straight A's, all A's. Would you tell? Don't keke lah. Wow, maybe got 2A, then post on Facebook. Wow, my son so smart. Yeah. So there are a few things here. Here the focus is to rejoice in others' merits. So you may think, but Shifu, a bit out of context. Over here talking about others' merits. Yeah. But we start out with something closer first. And the point is, if it's your own child, and it's just something worldly, yeah, maybe just get some A's. Yeah? Is it a big deal? Not really a big deal, but we also want to post on Facebook because we feel very proud of them. Not that we are haolian lah, yeah. But sometimes when we post in this way, other people may feel that we are very proud, yeah. How about if we, like when you, like today one of you shared about going to school and then getting some award, right? Sometimes I'm invited to some schools to go and give out prizes. Yeah, awards day. So on the occasions where I got invited there, yeah, I was actually quite happy because I was like, wow, I get to give out so many prizes. Not that I'm so proud to be on stage to give out prizes, but I was very happy. I was like, wow, So smart, huh? And a lot of them are multiple award winner, you know. Like one whole stack, no. First in English, first in Chinese, first in... So I tease the boy or girl, I say, "Whoa, you get everything, huh? Others have nothing left." Yeah. I mean, even though it's like, some of them may be in primary 1 or 2 or primary 5 or 6 or something, yeah. I mean, think about it. Now, if I ask you all to go and do primary school exams, can you get such a high score? Actually hard to say, huh? It's actually hard to say. Yeah. As much as we are adults and we are, rightly speaking, more capable than primary school kids, but under exam conditions, sit down and then, will you be able to get full marks? How about 90 points? Maybe for some subjects we can, but not so many subjects. Yeah. So, as I was in those halls and I see them come for the award, yeah, I was like, this is wonderful. Yeah. And so sometimes when I'm there, then I take some photos and then I'll post on the Facebook. When parents go to witness, I see all the parents. I tell you, when the son go up, I tell you, they are worse than the 狗仔队, you know, worse than the paparazzi. They will rush in front. We sometimes have to tell them, okay, let the official photographer take a photo first. Yeah. But it shows how we are proud of our child. Nothing wrong with being proud of our child. Yeah. But are we also proud and happy for other children? This is what this precept is about. But this precept is not just about scoring A or, you know, A star or what. Yeah. But we start off with that. Ask ourselves, do we rejoice in other people's success for a start? Then you go to, do you rejoice when people do wholesome deeds, do good deeds? So over here, knowing others' meritorious deeds, but out of detest. That means you have something personal with that person. If a Bodhisattva, because of this, then does not relay to others nor praise. You know that someone has done something well, something wholesome, something meritorious, beneficial to others. Doesn't mean that it has to be something really grand. Wow, that, you know, that who discovered cure for cancer. Doesn't have to be cure for cancer. Can be something, you know, smaller. Doesn't have to be so gigantic. So here, if this Bodhisattva know that the other person has done something well, but out of detest, does not relate to others, do not let others know about it. Keep quiet. Nor praise, does not. When we say praise, sometimes in today's context, we may think of praise as being very flippant. We may think that praising is just to curry favor people. But this is not what it's about. It is to praise the goodness in those acts. If someone, let's say you hear of someone go for a retreat, praise the fact that the person spent time on it. But maybe we are not happy with that person. Then we don't. We may even feel, why so smart? Go for a retreat. You can meditate, meh? After retreat like that one, meh? Sometimes it's because we don't like that person. So if we do that, or if one praises, one does not sing praises openly, you just quietly, go for a retreat, quite good. Then after that, when other people come, shh. So some of this, we may feel that, how come there's this emphasis to sing praises openly? Because it is, by doing that, we are publicly acknowledging people's good. to be able to do that, that requires a change of our heart. Here, it's talking about how if a bodhisattvas is supposed to do beneficial things for others. Yeah, but can you be happy when others are also doing beneficial things? Most of us can. Yeah, but this precept is partly about our own ego. Yeah, when we do something good, are we happy when others are also doing good? Or do we say, so smart man, that one, huh? Yeah. So this is to help the bodhisattva check themselves. Yeah, checking on one's own ego. So if one does not sing praises openly, this is named a transgression. And again, this transgression is not that you transgress against the Buddha or other bodhisattva will come and catch you or something. Yeah, it's that you transgress against your own vow. Your vow to be of benefit to others. Yeah. If we do beneficial things, meritorious deeds, but when others do it, we do not rejoice in it, then what happens? We are actually curtailing others. And by doing that, we are curtailing ourselves also. Yeah. Our heart becomes very narrow. Yeah. Very narrow. This is, in a way, especially if you start to do volunteer work. If you do volunteer work, when we do volunteer work, or let's say for myself, yeah. If let's say I see on Facebook news of other talks, and then I look at it, and if let's say Shifu look at it, and wow, so smart, huh? You also do 8 precepts, huh? Yeah. So sometimes I don't say that. How do I put it? I don't say that I have this kind of thoughts, but sometimes I would put in effort to consciously go and share it, to make sure that even if it's latent, because sometimes we have latent impulses, that has not ripened yet. Do you know what I mean? Like now, is any of you angry? Shouldn't be, yeah. But doesn't mean that there's no latent impulses. So even though consciously or actively there are no such traits, but when you watch yourself carefully, you realize that maybe there are latent impulses. So to counter it, sometimes when I see posters being shared by either other venerables or other devotees of other programs, even if it clashes with the one in terms that we are organizing in terms of timing, I sometimes would put in effort to go and share. Yeah. And this is to counter whatever latent, dormant impulses that they may be present. Yeah. But sometimes we are not aware. So check yourself. If you do it once, it is considered one transgression. If you do it multiple times, it's considered multiple transgression. And it's a transgression of default nature. If you do it in this way, out of detest, then it is due to defilement. That's why it's of default nature. But sometimes we may do it not because of defilement, but because we are lazy. Yeah? Or we are slack. Lazy, we are very tired, we have a lot of things to do. Slack, we used to do, but now we don't feel like doing. Yeah, we are slacking from our usual. Yeah. Or in an unrestrained manner, where we are living our life very unrestrained, so we never actively go and praise when we hear of people's good deeds. Yeah. Of course, over here, it's not even talking about condemning people's good deeds. Yeah. Have you encountered people who don't praise, don't relay people's good deeds, but even condemn people's good deeds? Yeah. Sometimes some in the office, let's say somebody brings some those fun fair coupon, charity, then there may be some colleagues who donate, some people may not donate for whatever reasons. But there are some people who don't donate and even, speak illy about it. Yeah. Maybe there are reasons to speak ill. Yeah. But sometimes it is simply because they don't feel, they don't like it when people are doing charity. Yeah. So this precept is not even talking about that. That is very jialat. Yeah. So there are 9 clauses for non-transgression. That means non-transgression means that you did it. Yeah, that means you didn't praise and you didn't do all this, but it's not considered a transgression. Under what clause? If in order to abide by the other party's wish to remain anonymous. So some of you, sometimes when you do something very wholesome, yeah, then I may ask you, sometimes I forget to ask, then I just tell everybody, yeah, because it's a practice, we rejoice in other people's good deeds. So sometimes some people feel like they don't want to be heard or known. Yeah, so I will ask, how can I tell the rest? But sometimes Sifu will ask in front of everybody, then the person have no choice. Yeah. So some people prefer to remain anonymous. Wow, even this clause is covered. Yeah. If people want to be anonymous and as a result you don't tell others about their good deeds, then you are not at fault. So this is the first clause. But something to highlight about this. If you choose to remain anonymous, then you better remain anonymous. Okay? If you say you want to be anonymous, then later on if people don't praise your good deeds or say anything, you check yourself. Do you feel a bit, hey, I did so much, how come nobody say? No, I'm not saying this to criticize anybody. Don't overthink things, okay? But this is something that is very real. Do what you can at your stage. Don't try to become like the Buddha immediately. We should strive to become like the Buddha, but don't act like the Buddha. Do you know the difference? We should try to become like the Buddha. That means we cultivate all the qualities to become like the Buddha. But don't act like the Buddha as though you are the Buddha. So if you are at the stage where maybe when you do something good and others praise you, comment, maybe I don't use the word praise, someone comment on your kindness, maybe it will make you feel encouraged. Not that you are so proud or you want the whole world to know, but you may feel encouraged. Then it's okay. You don't have to think that, if I let people praise me, then I feel like other people may think I'm so proud. You don't have to make things so complicated. If someone praise you, then just say, me too, thank you. You don't have to say, hey, you want to praise me? Right on Facebook, let everybody know. That is really being proud, okay? If one is sick or weak, if you are very sick, then as a result, even though you heard about your friends' kindness towards this person or that person, but you are so sick, don't trouble yourself. Pass me my phone. Why? What do you want? Pass me my phone. I must send on Facebook to tell everybody you are so kind to come and visit me. You're in ICU. Pass my phone. Don't have to, okay? If you are sick or weak, just get well. If one uses skillful means, causing the other party's defilements to be subdued. So this is the same as before. Sometimes we may choose to do something like this. The person has done something commendable, but we choose not to comment on it. We choose not to highlight how well that person is. And it is for the purpose to get him or her to reflect, to introspect. So this requires a few prerequisites. Number one, you must know that that person will reflect. If the person did something well and they maybe expect you to to praise, yeah. But the person is always so proud. But you know, if you keep quiet this time, the person will think, how come Shifu, let's say Shifu lah, how come Shifu today, this time never praised me? If you know that the person will reflect, and as a result will think, maybe I've been too attached to the praising. I should not be so attached to the praises. Then it's okay to not do it. Yeah. But if let's say the person will not reflect, then you praise, or if you don't praise, it doesn't help that person. Yeah, then pointless. Okay? So, if in order to uphold motions passed by the Sangha, that means in the community, we have decided this person, no matter what this person do, this person has maybe held on to some wrong views or have some behavior that is improper and so on. So even though the person may have on the side done something worthy, we shall not communicate anything about him or her until this person change or something. Then in order to uphold this motion, meaning a common decision, then by upholding the common decision, there's no transgression. If in order to prevent various faults from arising in the other party, such as defilements, overjoyfulness, pride or wrongfulness, as mentioned earlier. The more you praise, the more ego the person becomes. So sometimes you have to learn to praise, sometimes you have to learn to critique. Every time praise, then the person, Hokkien we say, bui tit, the tail straighten up. So not so easy. If the merit is genuine but appears contrary. So sometimes when someone does something good, but there's some ambiguity there. Why is it that over here it says, if the merit is genuine but appears contrary, then it's okay not to praise. It's okay not to commend. It's because if you commend, but the appearance is contrary, then there are other people who will have doubts if you were to praise. Either doubt in you or doubt in the action. You will cause ambiguity. So on this basis, it's okay not to praise. If the teachings is genuinely wholesome but appears contrary. So similarly, if someone gives good teachings and so on, it's genuinely wholesome, okay, but appears contrary, then you shouldn't praise it also. If in order to eliminate evil heterodox views, so some special cases where if you praise, then the wrong views will become stronger. So some groups with strong views may do something wholesome as well. But it's a mixture, This group has wrong views and happen to do charity, for example. Then if you go and praise the charity without proper clarification, people may think that everything that this group do is correct. Then, as a result, people may think that the wrong view is correct also. If waiting for the other party to finish his teaching, so let's say Shifu is giving a wonderful teaching and you feel so joyful, wow, it's wonderful. Then every 5 minutes you stand up, clap, wow. Then you are interrupting the teaching. So after everything is done, that teacher has finished all the teaching. Very good. Then after that you say, wow, this is so wonderful. Just like as a person may bring light into the dark room, may overturn, may set upright what is overturned, and so on and so forth. Wow. Halfway through, you say, Shifu, can I say something? Then you keep interrupting. Then in the end, the good teaching become interrupted. So this is precept number 39. I want to leave some time for you all to ask questions because on the WhatsApp chat, some people asked some questions, but I wanted them to come and ask the question. So let's just take a quick look at the Chinese text, if there's anything to clarify. 不随喜功德戒第39。若菩萨知他众生有实功德，以嫌恨心不向人说，亦不赞叹，有赞叹者， 不唱善赞，不唱善斋，是名为犯，众多犯，是犯软无奇。若懒惰懈怠放逸，犯非软无奇。Yeah, so more or less is as we have shared earlier. So the 不唱善斋, so when we translated, we translated as sing praises. So in retrospect, 善斋 means sadhu. Yeah, sadhu. Yeah. So does it mean that in today's context, anywhere you go, you see someone hold the door, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Must you do that? So when in traditional Buddhist centers, whenever we finish the whole teaching, then everybody will just put their palms together and go, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now in Myanmar, adu, adu. So traditionally it's done in this way. But what does it mean when people say sadhu? Yeah, it means it's actually a form of rejoicing. Yeah, to say excellent, excellent. Wow, that was really good. Yeah. So in today's context, if let's say you are with a group that is all having maybe more traditional, and everybody say, wow, sadhu, sadhu, then you say, excellent, excellent. Then it may feel a bit strange. But if in the office and someone did some charity, let's say your boss or your colleague actually organize this community service, and at the end of it, then everybody, wow, well done. Then you sadhu, sadhu. Can be a bit odd also. So just to highlight this, 不唱善斋, it can be translated as sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah, but it's to exclaim, to rejoice in what was done, an exclamation of excellence. 实有实日功德. Yeah, that's truly meritorious. Yeah. Okay, the rest is as we have discussed. So, any questions for today's session, today's precept? Yes. Appears contrary.
Yeah, when it's wholesome, but how we don't have the wisdom to know.
So how? Yes. So for example, the Buddha said, he who killed one's father and mother is a true Brahmin, a true Arahant. Let's say if I just quote, this is really from the Dhammapada, from the Sutta, okay? And when you hear this, you may feel like, huh? But some of you may have heard this teaching before and know the deeper implication. Yeah? But without the speaker giving the full explanation, then you may not want to be so quick to say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Otherwise, it will cause other people to have the wrong conclusion. Killing father and mother is correct. Yeah. Because in the full context of that teaching, the Buddha highlighted, if we take, I think, ignorance and craving. Yeah, father and mother to represent ignorance and craving. Then you'll be correct. No? Whoever kills ignorance and craving is a true Arahant. Understand? See, after explanation, you're still so confused. But this is what the text is talking about.
We don't have the wisdom to know, like, the growth, the true, things like listen, so we cannot even differentiate which one is the true.
Then your question is maybe slightly different. Yeah. So in the context of the precept, it is saying a teaching is genuinely meritorious. That means there's a teaching that really has value. But on the surface, it appears contrary. Okay? And as a result, you don't praise. It's okay. Yeah, because out of consideration that others may have the misconstrued idea. So in your case, if you don't even know whether it's correct or wrong, then it's a slightly different case. How do we know whether a teaching is correct or wrong? Refer to one of the class, don't know how many months ago, where we covered that before. But in brief, how do we know that a teaching is indeed the Dharma? There is the 3 Dharma seals. Yeah. There are 3 criteria upon which you can use it as a guideline to look at what has been taught, yeah, and see whether it leads towards the truth. Yeah, the 3 Dharma seals, 诸行无常, 诸法无我, 涅槃寂静. Yeah. That if some teaching is given, does it support these 3 stanza? Does it directly describe or indirectly support? Yeah. And ultimately, if you go to a group, let's say when you come to some center, let's say SGC, I don't every week say, oh, must strive for enlightenment, every week keep on saying that. So on some weeks, maybe because of the context of the class, we may have certain focuses. But throughout the whole year, definitely you will see some sessions where there's mention about worldly cultivation, yeah, cultivation leading to a good rebirth, and then there are some teachings leading to enlightenment. So as a whole, no problem. But if you go to a center, day in, day out, never highlight Four Noble Truth, Eightfold Path. Day in, day out doesn't bring in any teaching that points towards enlightenment. And even if they claim to point towards enlightenment, doesn't highlight the Noble Eightfold Path as a way. Yeah, then you got to ask yourself, what way are they advocating? Okay? Can? So, is there anyone who would like to ask the question? Yes. Wait. What question do you want to ask? Wait, hang on. You may want to repeat your question.
Okay. So basically, I run into this issue quite often where I will not praise someone for a deed that appears to be a wholesome deed, but really they have ulterior motives or it's not really a wholesome deed. And I get questioned about it often, but I want to know the best way to explain it to the person why I did not praise the deed that appears wholesome but it actually has ulterior motives.
So you know that there is ulterior motive.
Yeah, for example, like I was talking to a friend before about, for example, like the Salvation Army charity, and they were bragging about donating a lot to Salvation Army, and I remained quiet and they questioned me, why, what's the problem, why you don't praise me? And I think it's actually because Salvation Army, they are very corrupt charity. They take the money for their own benefit and they don't help the homeless people they claim to support.
Oh.
And the thing is that whenever I point out stuff like this, it usually leads to them getting quite upset, and then usually leads to me getting into an argument. And I want to know the best way to explain to them my real reasonings for why I'm not supporting these deeds that appear wholesome. Because I think sometimes people have a hard time grasping that some deeds that they feel like they have done is wholesome actually is quite hollow in retrospect.
Yes. So a few things here. Again, we come back to the point about doing something versus getting upset. Yeah. So if we can prevent ourselves from getting upset but still deliver the message, then we can deliver the message. If we consider in the past, whenever I deliver the message, the people like that always get upset, and I will also get upset, and in the end we will start arguing, and in the end they do not change their mind, they are not able to see my point, and instead of being calm, I become upset. Then you may want to consider not speaking at all. Yeah, but I don't say that in all cases we shouldn't speak. Yeah. Sometimes it's a matter of finding a right moment. What I find interesting about your case is the fact that your friend or those people actually tell you in your face, why don't you praise? Yeah, I find it very interesting because, yeah, if you do charity, good lor. But you mean you act. So they actually actively come and tell you like, they tell you about what they have done, and they actually expect you to praise.
Kind of like, they'll be like, they'll pester me like, why, if they act like if I don't praise them, I have a problem.
No, they act like, so what do they do that give you that impression?
So if they say something like, oh, I did this today, I gave money to homeless, I helped out a soup kitchen, I'm like, oh, okay, that's quite good. And then look at me expecting more, and I'll be like, yeah, okay. And then they'll be like, why, you got problem or something?
Wait. Let's slow down. Rewind. And then go by 1/10 of the speed. So first they tell you, today I gave to homeless. And let's say I be you now and you be them, okay? You tell me.
So, like, wait, sorry. So, I'm you and you are.
I'm you and you are them.
Okay, today, today I gave $5 to a homeless man, homeless uncle who sold tissue.
Oh.
Yeah, I just gave him like that.
Wait. Homeless uncle, homeless tissue. Wait. Homeless uncle. Wait. So are we still talking about Salvation Army?
It's like same line of thinking. But someone be like, oh, I brought a lot of clothes today, a lot of old clothes to the next Salvation Army.
Oh, I see. So
maybe like 5 bags of clothes.
I see. Okay. I see. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
what?
why? You have a problem with why? You've got a problem with me or something? There's no problem with Salvation Army. You don't like to donate to charity, is it? Huh?
No.
Then what's wrong? Why you don't say anything else? So what's going on with you? What's your problem today? You grumpy or something?
No. Huh?
Why you don't appreciate people doing good deeds or something? You really hate charity? You really hate homeless people or something?
No, I don't hate charity. I don't hate homeless people. But I would then add one more thing, and I would ask like, wait, are you expecting me to say something? Which sometimes in class you see me say, like, so do you, what do you expect me to say? So sometimes instead of assuming they want us to say something, I would ask people if they are expecting me to say something. Yeah. And sometimes that will awaken them to their own expectation. Because sometimes they are so caught up with that expectation that they are not aware. Yeah. And sometimes it is our inferred expectation of their expectation of us. Yeah. So sometimes just asking would clarify things. Yeah. So let's say now I ask like, so are you expecting me to say something?
Sometimes they just get angry. They're like, why you got problems?
No, wait. No, you must really act like how they would act. So before anything happened, I ask like, so, and you say so, and then I say, so are you expecting me to say anything else?
What's wrong with you today? Did I do something wrong?
No.
Do you have some kind of personal problem with me? Like.
No, wait. But I'm just asking you if you are expecting me to say something. Why would that mean that I find something wrong with you? I don't find anything wrong with you.
But you don't say anything else. There's nothing else. You don't want to talk about this or proceed like that. Why don't you donate then, huh? If you've got such a big problem, why don't you donate?
So you think that I should be donating there?
Yeah, you think.
But I do.
You're better than me or something.
Now
right?
I'm playing your role. Then I would say, but I do. I donate to Ven Chuan Guan in Singapore. Yeah. Now there may be cases where sometimes people do have some expectations, but good to check ourselves also. Yeah. Always check ourselves. Don't check others. Yeah, because you can't be responsible for people's behavior or people's thinking. And you cannot wait until everybody think in a certain way, then we be calm and happy. We will, when there's the right condition, meet with someone who is unreasonable. We will, at some point in time, with the right condition, meet with someone who expect you to say nice things. I mean, sometimes students come to me and tell me that, oh, when they meditate, wow, they have this experience, that experience. But for me, I'm very thick-skinned. So I say, oh, okay. And then? Yeah. Maybe they do expect me to say something. And sometimes they do. But I don't want to assume that they do. So I just ask them like, okay, and yeah. I let them tell me what they want from me. Yeah. So, good to check our own expectations also. Okay, before we wrap up, is there anyone who would like to ask the question that was raised in SGC? If not, I will not. Huh?
Yeah, I
Yes.
didn't make it quite clear in the
Yes. Yes.
I feel very bad to raise these questions because...
Why do you feel bad?
Because I understand that you have explained these things before, and it's just because I'm new that I have not heard it.
Oh, no. Don't feel that way. Anytime you have question, raise it up so that others have a chance to hear again. Because I can assure you, half of them can't remember. Yeah, so tell us your question again.
My questions are actually my responses to the announcements about events in the chat. Like for example, that announcement about the fish.
Yes.
I did see the fish in the message, and I was wondering what it was about.
Okay.
So I did call the number that was given for inquiry.
Okay.
KS or someone. And he did explain it to me, and I did raise my question, which was that, this practice of buying live things like fish and chickens or birds and releasing them.
Yes.
I feel that it just adds to the profits of the fishermen and
right.
and it doesn't do anything
Right.
to reduce or to stop the practice.
Right.
And unless it's just a symbolic gesture, maybe.
Right.
So I was just wondering whether should I participate in it and join in the event.
Okay. Yes.
It makes me a bit uncomfortable.
Right.
See the point of it.
Yes. So,
That is just one question.
yeah, so that's question one. Let me just address that first.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of the reasons why I wanted you to ask in SGC is because this is usually raised during the life liberation. But those who are already attending, they are already attending. So when I share with them, they get more clarity on the life liberation itself. But there are those who have this question but never ask. So I'm very happy that you asked actually. Yeah, because there are those who have this question, didn't ask, didn't discuss with anyone, and just conclude that they shouldn't go. Yeah, so thank you for asking this question. If I were to just read from the chat group, why do we engage in buying fish or fowl to release them when the action does nothing to reduce their slaughter, and our buying fish only adds to the demand for more fish to be made available and adds to the profit of the vendors and others in the fishing industry? Yes, so these are very good points. So a few things, first and foremost. You will find that we don't buy chicken or birds to release. Yeah, because most of these are so heavily domesticated. If you buy, they probably can't really survive outside anyway. In particular, birds. There was once a relative actually wanted to invite me to do some house blessing and asked me whether he can do life liberation. I specifically, outrightly instructed him, do not buy birds. Yeah, and then he asked, can I buy crickets? I said, no, don't buy crickets. Yeah, these are bred purely for people to do life liberation. Then what's the point? In the end, on that day when I met up with him, he still bought a lot of birds and cricket.
Oh no!
Yeah, if I don't recall wrongly, he bought actually all the crickets. Did he buy birds? No, I don't think he bought birds. Yeah. So sometimes people can ask and I tell them and then they still do it. How about the fishes? So we do life liberation about two or three times a year. And so the question is, when we liberate those fishes, number one, what does it do to the fishing industry? Number two, what does it do to the fishes? I often highlight and share with people, let's not throw out the baby with the water. The act of doing life liberation stems from this heart of compassion. Yeah, out of compassion for the suffering of living beings. So the question is, how about the act itself? So there are two parts, the intent and the act, the method. The intent itself is wholesome, but how about the act? Long distant past, several, maybe even decades ago, there are people who buy fishes and they just release anywhere. They buy fishes that is from the ocean and they release in the lake. What happened? The fish die. Yeah, saltwater fish released in freshwater lake. Or they catch or they buy freshwater fish released in the sea. Yeah, freshwater fish include guppy. Yeah? Guppy is freshwater, right? Guppy, goldfish. Yeah. Then you go and release in the sea. What happened? Suffocate, die. Yeah. So by and large, at this point in time, most of those groups that do life liberation has gone past that early stage already. Yeah. We release fishes that are from the right places. So then, does it guarantee that they will survive to a ripe old age? Unfortunately, we can't guarantee that. Yeah, we don't have a pension scheme for the fishes to ensure that they retire and then have a nice place to stay. We do what we can to prevent their imminent death. This is what we are sure of. Yeah, this is what we are sure of. For many of the groups, sometimes, in fact, in the late last year, we even toyed with the idea. What if we get the devotees to go and buy their own fishes? That means you go to the market, randomly, suddenly, people come and buy fishes. Yeah, buy the live fishes from the seafood restaurant. So those fishes in the seafood restaurant, if you don't buy, they are going to die. Yeah. But because we don't do it regularly, they don't know when to buy more, when to buy less. Yeah. And no restaurant will just buy a lot waiting for that one person who happened to come to buy for life liberation. So in a way, we are acting as a disruptive forces to the normal supply and demand. Some people say that, oh, but if you keep releasing, then you are becoming part of the demand curve. Yeah. So in order to prevent that, we do it sporadically. Out of the 3 to 4 times we do life liberation, we randomly choose between releasing fishes, crabs, or crocodiles. So they really don't know. If they want to aim for us, it's hide and seek. And even when we do release, we kept the amount we're going to release so that it doesn't become a major part of their business P&L. Yeah. So automatic, huh?
How about frogs?
We currently do not release frogs. Yeah. Because if you consider the number of participants, if each person release one frog, it can upset the ecosystem quite a bit. Yeah. So having all these measures in place, the impact, is there an impact? There is still an impact. Just the fact that we are alive, we are having an impact. The question is how big the impact. I have written a couple of articles in my blog and that dates back to several years ago. Before I continue, are you convinced with no shred of doubt that life liberation is useless? Before you even come, are you already convinced? Or are you open to new findings? Okay, then,
so that I get a
yeah.
better perspective of what is being done.
Yes. So all these measures is to make sure that while we do our part to liberate life, it doesn't become a commercial process. Yeah. Now, the other thing I highlighted in the article is, if we consider commercial fishing, every year, we're not talking about a few hundred kilos. We're talking about thousands of kilotons. Don't know how many kilotons, hundreds and thousands of kilotons. 1 ton is 1,000. Yeah. So years back, RGS, they did a study, and they went to the Singapore Buddhist Federation to ask for someone to interview about life liberation. So I was assigned to talk to them. So I sat down with them, talked to them. Then later on, they went to another monastery. I happened to be in with them also. So they also asked. Then when they contacted me, they were like, "You have already interviewed me." So during the interview, in the first 5 minutes, they time and again referred to life liberation as an issue, the issue of life liberation. So after talking for 5 minutes, so I said, "So exactly what is the issue?" And you know what they said? No, it's not an issue. And I'm like, but you have been referring to it as an issue. It's okay. What is the issue? There are a few things that they highlighted. They said that, number one, NParks have highlighted that life liberation has an impact on the ecosystem. So I asked them, did NParks give you any numbers? They said no. And I'm like, no. NParks, the organization, the ministry, the government body that has a number for every single tree in Singapore. You're telling me that they don't have the numbers of how much impact on the ecosystem. Cannot be. I was not convinced. So I told them, maybe you should talk to them again. Yeah. Because this is Singapore we're talking about. We rely heavily on facts and figures. So if anybody say that there's an impact, surely they will come up with the figures. Even when a temple organizes an event and it's too loud, NEA will actually, I think it's NEA, they'll actually get those devices to measure the decibel. Yeah, and they have those in black and white. You cannot exceed how many decibel in daytime at 10 p.m. and later, then the decibel level is much lower. Yeah, so there are regulations so that we can follow the regulation. So then I told them, life liberation itself is not an issue, but the way it's done can be managed and should be managed. We should educate people how to do life liberation. There are many people who release their pets. You know, small little puppy, very cute. Rabbit, very cute when they are small. When they grow up and then they start to multiply, not so cute. So people think, rabbit, stay in the forest. Go and release them. And then they call this life liberation. This is not life liberation. This is called life discarding. 不是放生，是弃生，弃舍。Yeah. So, including terrapin. Yeah, a lot of people rear terrapin, very cute. Then when they are old, when the terrapin grow old and the little boy or little girl grow up, busy at work, busy with boyfriend, girlfriend, get whatever, then okay, 放生. This is wrong. Yeah. Rearing pets can be a very beautiful thing. Yeah, an expression of responsibility and care for another living being. Yeah. But perhaps we should be educating people on that and not throwing out life liberation altogether because some people do it wrongly. Yeah. Are there people who do life liberation with dire consequences? There are. I've seen reports about how sometimes when they have all the barrels of fishes in the hot sun, yeah, or the crabs, and then they do long puja, 2-hour puja, and then the hot sun, all the fish. By the time it's released, the fish is just lying down. So, to be very honest, there was once we were at the Changi Jetty with the crabs, And then halfway through, we realized that the sun is very strong, so all of us gather over to cover the crabs and start to spray water and things like that. Yeah. But it's not just life liberation. In many things that we do, we have to be cautious, yeah, and not let it become a ritual. That's why when we do life liberation for us, that's minimal ritual, if at all. Yeah, because it should become an ingrained part of our day-to-day life. Yeah, to be cautious of our body, speech, and mind, whether we are acting out of compassion and not just go through that process, get some birds and then release, oh, good merit. Yeah. Huh?
Can I say that this is quite related to my other question?
Yes.
It has to do with the
Yes.
marriage.
Question number 3.
Yeah.
Let me read to them so that they have some context. Why do we focus on gaining merit for oneself for actions like the flower or other dana that perhaps we should only see as our duty to do or give as our contribution for the benefit of others, not for adding up personal merit points to increase our chances of gaining nirvana? Yeah. So it was previously asked, but then it was not brought up, so I kind of slipped the mind. Yeah. So thanks for bringing it up again. So recently I went to do a hospital visit, and this question was asked also. So when we were in the hospital, we went to the family room, and then we had this whiteboard. And in the whiteboard, I drew 3 columns. So because our visualizer is not here, we haven't got all the parts to set up. So I'm going to need you to do your own visualization. So you will be the visualizer. In the first column, okay, visualize in the first row, or the header of the first column, this act of not doing, okay, not doing charity, for example, okay? Yeah, first column is not doing charity. Can visualize? Last column is doing charity selflessly, purely for the benefit of others, okay? Not thinking, I do this, then I have 10 points. I do that, I have 15 points. Oh, that one even better, 50 points. Not thinking this way. Okay? So first column, don't want to do charity. Last column, do charity without this kind of thoughts. Middle column, do charity with the thought, if I do this charity, I have some merit. If I do charity, I also have some merit. Okay? Can you visualize these 3 columns? Very good. So I put it in these 3 columns in a way to highlight, compared to not doing charity, would you say that the third... Oh, very good. Next time we should just do this. Then I don't have to write at all. This is auto-visualization. Yeah. So if you compare the first column and the second column, which is more, which is better? First or second?
Second.
How many of you think it's the first column?
First column.
First column. Don't do charity. How many of you think the second column is better than first column?
I think second is.
Okay. How many then compare second column with the third column? Second column is doing to gain merit. Third column, just do. Yeah, out of kindness, for the benefit of others. Yeah, we just do. Selflessly, altruistically. Yeah. So column 2, column 3. Those in favor of column 2, raise your hand. Those in favor of column 3, raise your hand. Okay. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah. So this is what I call the forced choice. The forced choice paradox. You see, when we look at this 3, and you compare 2 and 3, it seems like we should do number 3. And as a result, it feels like number 2 shouldn't be done. But you must know that compared to the first column, number 2 should still be done. The problem is, sometimes when we compare number 2 and 3, then we feel that we shouldn't do number 2 at all. But in the end, are we able to do number 3? We also cannot do it. We are not, sometimes we may not be able to do number 3 totally also. In the end, because number 2 compared to number 3 shouldn't be done, and since we cannot do number 3, then we do number 1. We just don't do.
Perhaps we could encourage number 3, you know.
We should.
Give more encouragement
We
to
can.
number 3. So
Yes.
in relation to the fish, you know,
Mm.
that of course
So-
the fish could be number 2, you know. In a way it is a number 2 to me.
Yes.
Because in number 3 would involve, like, for example, being vegetarian.
For example.
Buy fish. All Buddhists do not buy fish. Do
So,
not buy meat.
so
that
very
will
good.
become number 3.
So very good. So in the same way, non-Buddhist or non-cultivator, and then a lay cultivator and a monastic cultivator. So imagine, okay, number 1, let it be a non-cultivator. Number 2 is a lay cultivator. Number 3 is a monastic cultivator. So should I tell all of you, don't be a lay cultivator. All of you should just ordain. Cannot ma. Everybody at different stage ma. So some people, that's why I encourage also. But we cannot say that your as a lay cultivator is not good. That's why we say those who can give, give. If you can give with the intent to have merit, it's also okay. This is karma ma, nothing wrong with that ma. It's like when we tell our children, study hard, then you can get good grades. By right, studying should be for the love of knowledge ma. Right? Right? Nowadays, kids even get more encouragement. Yeah, we hear about kids who go and bargain with the parents. Lama, so this time round I got 3 A's. So what are you going to get for me, huh? Right? But wait, not just parents, you know. In school, I have highlighted before. In school nowadays, just for having improvement, you get a prize, you know. From, let's say, last semester you fail, this semester you pass, then what happened? You get a prize, you know. So I told my niece, when Sifu was a kid like you, I get 3rd in position for my mathematics. You don't get any prize, no. You need to be first to get any prize, you know. Nowadays, just for improvement, from C to B, you get prize. Yeah. It's as though we need a prize for turning up. Yeah, turn up to school. Wow, well done for turning up to school. But what to do? We are currently like that. Yeah. So I agree. I agree that we should highlight number 3. And in fact, I tell you, number 3 is not the end, you know. Number 3 is not the end. Number 3, where you give selflessly, that's not the end also. Yeah, because even beyond number 3, you give knowing that there's benefit and then dedicating that benefit to others further. But if on the first day we tell people to do that, then they will feel disheartened. Then they will feel like, walao hey, 谢其参嘞. Huh? How come Buddhism so complicated one? So cheap. Not just cheap. This monk talks so much. Well, now even expect so much. So you are correct. We should educate people to move in progression. For the Buddha said, the Dharma is gradual. Yeah, not a cliff. It's gradual. So some people come in at the entry level. So we say, come and join us for some lunch. So some people just come every month, Tuesday, second Sunday, right? Like next Sunday, there's a lunch. Some people just come for lunch. Then after that, Sifu, I have something on, go first. Can I say, wait, why you just come for lunch? Chala, we are recording, next time they see. But we cannot say that, ma. You let them eat, it's okay. Yeah, so many masters, you know how many masters have said the same thing? They said, it's okay, let people come and eat. Yeah, you see how long they want to eat. Yeah, if it takes that much food for them to learn Dharma, let them eat. Yeah, eat 1 week, eat 1 month, eat 1 year, eat one whole life. Let them eat. Until one day they eat until they are very full, then they feel bad, paiseh. Then they want to learn. So gradually. Yeah. But it's good that you bring it up. Because otherwise some people do number 2 and then they forget that there's more. Yeah. But at the same time, when we reach number 3, don't look at number 2 with contempt. Don't look at it and say that it's not good. For those who are ready to go for number 3, then you should highlight to them that number 2 has flaws. But don't say it openly. Because why? Because there are those who is at number 1, and when you say that number 2 is not good, then they say, see, that's why I don't do. So to those who are at number 1, you must praise number 2. For those who are number 2, don't discourage them yet, no. You must let them do until they are quite sick of it already. Then you tell them, do you know that when you do number 2, there's number 3 to do also. Then it forms a gradual path. Huh?
Thank you, sir, for made it very clear.
Amitabha. Okay, now you all can clap. So thank you for asking this, because this is a chart that I've been wanting to highlight, but nobody asked. So thank you for asking.
This question about the chanting.
Oh yes, so that question is also very good. And this morning I kind of touched on it, but we have overshot time by half an hour already. So please come back next week and ask. 合掌回向，愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，普愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。